So I just made this video to answer a Reddit user's question, and I was looking at his image, and I realized that it could be a little bit different. It could be a little bit more, more complex than what I show. So I am going to modify my design in a couple different ways here. So if I go back to here, so I don't know if you know about chronological rollback and things like that, so it's very useful. So I rolled back to where I created this. I'm going to lower this just because it doesn't need to be so tall. And I'm going to use these surfaces. So I am going to... Alright, let's do it this way. It's funny, there's so many different ways you can always do things. I'm going to delete face. So I'm going to go from solids to surfaces now. So now I'm working on surfaces, except for, why is that face still showing? I just did a delete face. What? Oh. I bet I refilled it. Yeah, delete and fill. Yeah, just change this to just delete the face. That gets me once in a while, I forget that. And so what I could do here is, well, let me go back. One thing I could do is I could just give this a draft angle, tilt the draft outward, and let's say, I don't know, 11 degrees for a number. And then let's see what that does, except for I need to suppress that. Why is that weird? Right? And so now you can see it's a little narrower at the top than it is at the bottom. But what I don't like about that is that it forces the same amount, well, if it wasn't for the scale. So I'm going to take the scale feature out. So this is sort of tapered from bottom to top, larger to smaller. And here, like in this direction, it's also now at an angle, whereas when I didn't have the draft angle, or when I didn't have any draft angle, it was straight here, vertical, I should say. But now I put that draft, and so now I don't have control over differentiating this angle and this angle. So instead, what I can do is, now I unsuppress this again. So now I have these two surfaces, and I can, again, there are multiple ways that I could do this. I could do this with sketching, but I like this technique actually, and so I'm going to show you. So now that I've deleted that OD, now I have these two surfaces at the ends, and now I can scale these individually. And so if I go back to features and I go scale, where's scale? Scale's over here. And I should really have a shortcut for that. There's so many shortcuts though, and I'm very pro shortcut key, hotkey, and I use them for a lot. But there's only so many combinations of keys and shift and control and stuff. Before I do that, let me get rid of this loft again. I'm sorry, the draft. Let me get rid of that draft. So now it's straight again. So now these circles are the same size, and then I can go scale on this guy, and I can say on the y-axis I'm going to make it 1, but on the x-axis I'm going to call it 1.5. That's going to be exaggerated more than I really want, but it'll be fine. And then I'm going to do a loft between those. I'm going to go lofted base from that to that. Don't merge. I'm sorry, this one, merge result uncheck. And so now that it's its own separate body. And I need to repair my pattern now because that piece I was patterning is now gone. And so now I need to tell that that again because of the same reason. And hide these guys. A good tip I picked up recently from Too Tall Toby is that if you hit tab while you're hovering over something, it hides it, and if you shift tab while you're hovering over it, it brings it back. It's actually a good tip. And so it is. So now you can see that this is tapered from larger at the bottom to smaller at the top. But if I take that section view again, nope, that's not a section view. If I take that section view again, now this portion is vertical. So you get the differentiation there. So if you wanted it that way, now you probably do want a little bit of a draft just because it's probably injection molded. And so realistically, I should scale that one in the Y direction very slightly also. I'm going to go 1.05. I'm just guessing that that's going to give me a few degrees of draft angle. And actually, that 1.5 is a little too much, so I'm going to call this like 1.3. And I'm going to pull this out a little bit more again. All right, so that shows that. And the other thing that I thought of that I want to show, so you see now this is sort of, what do you call that? Trapezoidal? Is that a trap? Anyways. But this is vertical here, and this is, or almost vertical, and so these angles get controlled differently in those two directions. So that's useful in my mind. All right, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, comment, ridicule, whatever you want to do. Anything for no press is bad press. Is that what they say? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.